You got them on film? It's quite difficult to get them, isn't it? And if you get the chance, guys, you'll see the dolphins have a hole on the top of their head. That's where they breathe air. They don't breathe through their mouth like we do. And they never sleep. They can't sleep.
They can't sleep.
No. They breathe air and they live in water.
So, how can they rest?
They basically daydream. You know, like when you're at school and the teacher's going on and on and on. Your mind drifts. It's kind of like they do that, and they do it on and off throughout the day, but they can't sleep properly like us. It's very strange, isn't it? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings, wherever you may be. As you can see, I am on the Dolphin boat today. We're going out on the first trip on the 12:30 now. I believe it's Princess Diana's birthday today, so I'm wearing my pink pearls that Graham got for 20 quid down at Ocean Village in honour of her. Very sad. And also I lost one of my earrings, so apparently it's a fashion, it's a thing, my daughter said. So the dolphins, I thought we'd talk a little bit about some of the royals today, but also the dolphins, because there's been lots of questions. I've been doing this job for 12 years now, and Graham's been doing it for about 12 and a half, 13 years. The dolphins here in Gibraltar have a rhythm. We have a season, and every season is very typical until this season. We had a trip the other day, 3 hour, as I was saying, 3 hour no-do. Slow down for some reason. I was panicking thinking there's something up with the engine, you never know. I found out why my phone was filling up. Got the lady in the office and my Benji to have a look at it. I hadn't emptied the trash can, so it's freed up loads of space. That saves me buying a new phone. Isn't that marvellous? So the dolphins, yesterday we found 4 tiny baby dolphins playing. It was actually the other company that spotted them. We've got a deal going with them at the moment. If we find them, we bring them up and they come to us, and vice versa. And one of the girls on the yellow boat spotted those little tiny ones yesterday, and if she hadn't, we'd all have had a trip with no dolphins. It's very uncharacteristic. The bay should be pretty much alive with dolphins at this time of year, and it's not. We've had a couple of whales in the area. Now, some whales dolphins don't mind, and some whales dolphins very much do mind. Our dolphins here do not like killer whales. Killer whales are not whales, they're dolphins. And they do not like sperm whales. Sperm whale is a whale. They don't like them either. They can be quite aggressive. And they don't like pilot whales. And pilot whales, again, are a dolphin. Very, very large dolphin. And to add to the mix, very unusual, round the corner, quite a few away from our area, there have been over 200 attacks on yachts, not powerboats, on yachts by orca, the killer whale. And that's ever since the lockdown, well, ever since everyone came back out of lockdown. For some reason, I believe there's a couple of juvenile orca that are really aggressive. I mean, they grab hold of the rudder of the yacht and they've damaged a lot of yachts and nearly sunk people. So I'm going to do a couple of videos today. Or I might edit it all into one later on. We're on our way out. I've explained the situation to all of our passengers. So this is sort of a day in the life of Dolphin Safari, mixed with a bit of royal stuff. Now, Graham was mentioning he broke the mirror in a bathroom. I know, I was there when it happened. It was the most almighty crash. I thought, oh my God, what's he done? Has he had a heart attack in the loo or something? He didn't hit it very hard, but I think there was a hollow behind. So we've been fixing that up, and I kept a copy of the Daily Mail, and of course this will be back to front unless I can figure out how to switch it round. And the headline, it interests me. Everyone remember that photograph of Harry and Meghan? But the headline is, 3rd virus victim in UK. Wow, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Interesting photograph that the Daily Mail got. I always think the Daily Mail get the best photographs. I don't know where they get them, but they always have the best. Whatever the subject, I always go to the Daily Mail for photos. And I have looked up Meghan the last couple of days, but honestly, a lot of the stuff about her in the news I find quite dull, quite tedious. I don't know why. 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 I don't know w banal, boring. So I haven't really felt like talking about her much, or Harry. But I suppose for now, I'd better get on the binoculars and find these good people some dolphins. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so we've got dolphins in the distance. This is what we're looking for at a distance. So if you can see the dolphins yet. So there's an act to it. There's definitely an act to it, because when we're looking for the dolphins, we very rarely see an actual dolphin. We see a strange wave, a strange movement in the water, which indicates that there is something in the water that's unusual. Very, very rare we see a whole dolphin. And you've grown up with the Dolphin Safari, haven't you?
Yeah, got videos.
Yeah.
It's time to head back.
Is it time to go? Okay, right. Back to Gibraltar. I've got the microphone. Hello everybody, welcome on board. I'm Fiona. This is Graham, your captain, and the other crew member is Ben. Do you guys speak English? No? Oh, je ne parle français. Yes, I'll have to work sign language. These are the life jackets that we have on board, only for emergency. Okay, you don't have to wear them. It's only like, you know, panic. Over the head. Strap goes around the back. Okay, and just clips like that. Very easy. They're under this bench, this table, and this bench. Okay? À la Dolphin. Okay, that's about all I can manage. Okay, thanks, Graham.
So how do you make all the dolphins show up?
We don't. Oh, if only we could, because you were on a trip before with no dolphins, weren't you?
Before. Yeah.
Yes. They're wild. Most of the time they're here. The other day was very unusual, especially for this time of year. Whether the microphone works or not, I don't even know if it's turned on at the moment, because Graham's chatting to the passengers. We can relax now. People have seen the dolphins. Another very, very important aspect of the job here is honesty. That's really important. It's essential. Because what we're doing is we're taking people we've never met in our lives before. We're taking them out to sea on a boat. We've got to keep them safe, so they're trusting us. We don't know what the weather's going to be like. We don't know what the sea condition's going to be like. The day of the 3-hour no-do, but we call no-do's a trip with no dolphins, the 3-hour no-do, we all thought the sea would be as flat as a pancake that day, because it should have been the forecast. Everything said it was, but it was awful. And it's very important. Like, for example, all these guys on this trip, we normally do offer money-back guarantee at this time of year. We don't do it in the spring, because that's when the trips, the no-dos happen. But the rest of the year, money-back guarantee. We're that confident. We know what we're doing. We don't take them for granted, but we know we can find them. So, of course, on that 3-hour, Tim had to do a refund. There was an almighty kick-off in the office. But that does sometimes happen. But it is very important to be honest with people and to tell them. And so I told all these people before they booked, there is no money back guarantee on this trip, because we've had difficulty in the last week. Oh, got to go and fix the ladder. No what?
Glasses on.
Glasses on. No paparazzi.
No paparazzi.
So how stressful can it be working here, Kaisa?
Very.
Yeah. How was it the other day?
No.
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's terrible. In fact, my boss is one of the most unusual human beings I've ever met in my life. He's amazing. He's a one-off. Can I just get past you, Graham, please? I'm going to show them. Tim, talk about finding things in the skip. He broke his glasses, and just look at this. This is amazing. He broke the arm off it, so look at that. That is a spoon. Tim spent days crafting a teaspoon to fix his glasses.
It actually folds.
I know. He's a meticulous guy. It's like working for a cross between Doctor Who and who else would anybody know? So the bait ball is over there. Oh, Seagull got one. He got a little anchovy, poor little thing. See that? And see the air bubble? That's how the dolphins round the fish up. They take air, go down, and they do a wall of bubbles to keep the fish. And those fish will be well panicked by now. It's quite awful for them, actually, and that bait ball will shrink and shrink and shrink to nothing.
Probably quite large by the amount of seagulls that are here.
These guys eat about 5 to 7 kilos of fish every single day each. Their favourite thing is flying fish. Yes, we see flying fish quite a lot here. Amazing little fish. They pop out of the water and they use their fins like wings and they glide several hundred metres. That bait ball's desperately trying to get to the boat so it can again hide under the hull. Well, they're going to swim to you, but the dolphins aren't going to give them much chance. Well, the dolphins do as well. You've seen a dolphin do a turd, haven't you? It's like a big brown spray behind it. Of course, the fish have to do their business, the dolphins have to do their business, and so do the seagulls.
I'm just doing a similar thing to a man overboard here. Trying to stay away from it.
So, I bet you're relieved that you weren't on that hideous 3-hour no-do.
I reckon if I were on it, I'd have found it.
Oh, really? That's what your dad said as well. Well, I'm telling you, me and Tim scoured. If me and Tim can't find them, there was sod all out here, poor Tim. I'm going to do a bit in the office about some of the abuse he gets when there are no dolphins. Because it is a lovely job. This is one of the most, well, it is the most amazing job I've ever had. But there are days when it can be really tough if you can't find dolphins or the sea's rough. We'll go into all that later.
Fish!
I know. Haven't seen Bertle yet. We have these dolphins here are common dolphins. Americans call them saddleback dolphins. And we have a resident bottlenose. Normally these guys don't really hang out with the bottlenose, the larger ones. They don't like them. If we have bottlenose in the bay, with them, we can't find these guys. They make themselves scarce, same as, well, killer whales, orca. These guys will flee because the killer whales will attack them and eat them if they want to. And but there is an exception to the rule with the bottlenose. There is one bottlenose dolphin, and we call her Bertle, and she's been around for years. And she was adopted by the smaller dolphins. We don't really know why, and it's the only case that we know of in the world. The bait ball's over there now. I can feel because the whole boat's leaning over because all the passengers have gone to that side. Drives me kind of crazy, actually. Especially if you've got ferry wake as well, because the other thing is over there, that is the port of Algeciras, which is the busiest port in Europe. Just about everything comes through that to Europe. And in the distance there, I don't know if you can see it, that's Africa, that's Morocco, the mountain. It's very difficult for me to point the phone when I'm doing it back to front. So we get a lot of high-speed ferries coming in and out of Algeciras, and they go over to Ceuta, which is another invasion. That's Spanish, not African, not Moroccan. And others going to Tangier. And some of them throw off a hell of a wave. I mean, a massive, massive wave. And I've just seen my least favourite going in, so we won't see her for about another hour. Thank God. Is it all calming down now? Seagulls are calming down.
No, it's because the fish are under the boats and the seagulls can't get it. So
I guess the yellows have figured out we've got dolphins, or did you ring Jenny?
No.
Well, if they can't see dolphins here, they've got no right being in the business, have they? Actually, you know, that girl on the yellow boat yesterday, I can't believe that Georgie spotted those 4 little dolphins. That was a really good spot. She should get the award of the dolphin spotter for the week. Bless her. Oh no, it's all still going on here. And we've actually got 2 customers on the boats. I said we've had whales in the area. The lady went down to Europa Point this morning to see sunrise. And the bus driver said he'd seen the whales. And like I say, if they're sperm whales, you've got the remnants of blackmouth's wave coming at you on the port side, Ben. It's not too... It's right here, it's not too bad, though. Yeah, the bus driver had seen the whales. If they're sperm whales, these guys, they just hate sperm whales. And this is a very, very unusual job, because when I was new at crew, when I first started, our old captain Carl, we'd had a whole week, couldn't find any dolphins, and I'd been on the binoculars and I had seen what I can only describe as a swimming rock. So I thought I was stupid and I didn't tell anyone, and then the next day, oh flop.
You just caught that one.
Did I? Oh, happy dolphin, he got his fishies. Yeah, so the next day I saw the swimming rock again, and I told my boss, Conchi, but I didn't tell the captain. And then the next day, that night, I told Carl, and he said, "You idiot, you should always tell me, even if you see something really weird, you must tell me." And he said, "I think that's a whale," and it was sperm whales. I wonder if this microphone really will work in this heavy wind. Oh, look at that, a right old fight. Is that the bait ball still there?
Yeah. Try to go around.
You got another fish. So yeah, and I've seen lots of weird and wonderful things at sea. We actually saw the Loch Ness Monster about half a mile over there years ago. I am not kidding. I'll do that one. I'll tell that story with Graham one day, because both me and Graham and all the passengers on the boat saw it. The only person who didn't was my boss. He was looking the other way.
You got a good shot at it.
Did I?
No, here.
Oh, right, yes. And after seeing the swimming rock, another time me and Carl were out, and I was quite new crew, and this is going to sound really rude and awful, but I don't mean to sound rude, but he'd said to me, he'd describe exactly what you're seeing. And I was looking down towards Morocco with the binoculars, and I said, "Oh God, Carl, I've seen something," and I don't understand what it is. And he said, "Just tell me, because there's no bloody dolphins." And I said, "Well, it looks like a gigantic man's erect penis." And I thought he burst out laughing, and he went, "Oh my God, sea turtle." And we went straight down. He said, "Absolutely, it's huge." So they can crane their necks right up, really, really tall, like a periscope, to have a good look around. So I think I'll leave it for that for the moment. You can see why Meghan to me is a bit boring and banal, and it's such a disappointment and a shame, because I do believe Harry would love a job like this, and or safari in Africa or something, working with the animals. I think he'd much prefer something like that. And isn't this lovely on Princess Diana's birthday? It's almost like she's here with the dolphins. It's the pearls that did it, isn't it? Right, and then I'll explain a bit more in the office about the darker side of how it can be sometimes. Talking of sometimes how stressful it gets, this, right, used to be kept here. I'll just drop it a little. You can see that's really heavy. I reckon that's about half a kilo. Customer got so angry, picked it up where Ben's sitting, threw it at Tim, missed Tim's head by about 2 centimetres. Do you remember that, guy, sir? How angry and it was because they hadn't seen any dolphins. And that's just one. How many times we've had this sort of thing? So, as I was saying before, honesty is a very, very important thing with the customers. You've got to be honest with them. You've got to tell them the truth. And even when you do, they can become very stressed and very upset. What are you laughing at? It's about 700 feet deep. And, yeah, and then it gets deeper down the bay towards Morocco. Middle of the bay, about 1,000 feet deep. And out in the Strait, 6,000
feet deep, more or less, very deep. And the dolphins, they can go right down. They can hold their breath for maybe 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes if they really want to.
They can hold their breath.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See the bait ball in a bit.
Oh yeah, get a bit closer. You can get quite close to a bait ball. A bait ball, if you can hear me over this wind, guys, is it's a big ball of fish, little anchovies, and that the dolphins are, look at the bait ball, guys. Can you see? The dark brown shadow. I don't know if you can see that. They're tiny fish, and the dolphins will pick them off. And obviously the seagulls are capitalising on it as well. Isn't that amazing? Poor little fish. But I am so glad to see the dolphins back. Don't see that very often, do we? And now, the little fish, if you can hear me, Graham was going to lend me his mic, but he's decided against it, so I'm going to sit down here. Oh, we're absolutely surrounded by hundreds of dolphins at the moment. Oh, be quiet, man. Yap, yap, yap on that radio all day long. Yeah, we never take the dolphins for granted. It's quite a stressful job, actually, because you just never know. Every single trip is a new search with the binoculars. All three of us spotted them at the same time, but they were racing around. And the anchovies have now gone underneath the boat, and they will make themselves into the shape of the hull in order to try and disguise themselves, as if that would fool a dolphin, because the dolphins have an inbuilt sonar system. They know where everybody is. They actually know how many people are on this boat, believe it or not. They've got such an acute awareness of their surroundings. And you can probably see in the background.
The bait ball's back, it's trying to follow us.
It will try and form the shape of the hull.
Under the boat, they've got a brown back and dorsal fin, which goes down to a point either side of the body. And there's a creamy patch in front, a bit like penguin colours. And yeah, a very similar colour to penguins. And these are the guys we see most of the time. And they can hear you, they can see you, you can wave to them, call to them. Sometimes they respond. Yeah, so honesty is an enormous part of the job, telling people the truth. Will they see dolphins? Some trips they've asked me before we set out, and I've said, well, we're not coming back till we found them. And others I've said, no chance on a day like today. And they've said, well, I can't go any other time. Can we do it today? And I said, okay, we'll do it. And then we found them. But dolphins have a very strange effect on some human beings. Well, not on most human beings, but some human beings get really, really, really emotional and very upset and angry if they don't see them. So well, I can see some activity going on over there, which I've got to go and tell Ben about. More dolphins, which I don't think he's seen.
So, home at last, laundry's done, white shirts are washed, Graham's been in the jacuzzi, and finally my family are all in different rooms in the house, counting to 1 billion, because I've asked them to, so I can do this very short summing up of the day. So, my point is about having a job like I've got, and I bet there are some of you out there have got jobs like that. You work with animals and you work with children, and there's so much more to life than preaching and lecturing people about how many private jets you shouldn't take, or what politics should and shouldn't be. And I just can't understand Meghan. I can't understand her at all. If she was being effective and she was changing things for the better, or she was doing really well like Princess Diana did with the landmines, I'd understand her doing it. But I just, all I see is a vanity project. I just don't see anything genuine in it. And Harry, to me, looks totally miserable. And that to explain, because I've just watched parts of the video back, and I didn't explain before why I had a copy of the Daily Mail to do with Graham breaking the mirror in the toilet. It's because when I got it, I said to him, oh, that's a keeper. Because we do keep newspaper, you know, original copies. Sometimes if something big happens, like 9/11, we kept the original copies of that. And he said, oh, I'll put it in a safe place, I'll put it in the loo. And that's where it's been all this time. And we only just found it when he broke the mirror. And he was cleaning the glass up, and he found it on the shelf above. He said, oh, look at this. I thought, well, that photograph just about sums up how Harry and Meghan seem to feel They just don't seem happy. I don't know what's going on there at all. But isn't it a shame that they could? I think Harry would certainly love working at the Dolphin Safari. Apart from getting punched in the face by the odd customer who's pissed off because they didn't see any dolphins. But I'm sure he could handle that, of having lived with Meghan. Only joking, Meghan. Don't anybody get excited there. But I think he'd love it. Or working with on a safari, or working in a nature reserve, or maybe at the place we went to with the lions the other week. I just don't think where he is in Hollywood, that's not making him happy at all. Although he probably would suffer from the sun. Look at me, I look like a bloody lobster today. That was burning hot out there, between the vinegar and the salt and all the rest of it. So that was the one thing I wanted to clear up, why I was showing the Daily Mail and what the connection was. And I thought I'd take it into work and do that video, and then I forgot because I was concerned about finding dolphins. And the other thing is, I looked up Princess Diana Lewis, and I looked on images, and there are people who have taken photographs of her at Pelham House, where my mum worked. There's no reception line, so my mum's not in any of the pictures, but Diana's there. And Lewis Magistrates, where she went and met my dad, and it was 1988. So I couldn't quite remember. I thought it was 87 or 89, but it was 88. It was June 1988. And if you go on Google and you look up Princess Diana Lewis Magistrates, go to images, and you'll see a photograph of her, and she looks miserable. That's exactly how I remember it. So you can look that up, and you can see that that was the case. And the other photograph, you can see her legs, and you can see they're like sticks. They're quite skinny and shapeless. Anyway, it was her birthday today, and she sent the dolphins to us. I like to think of it that way. I think that would be lovely. So, would love to hear all your comments and questions. If you've got any questions about the dolphins, the whales, or oh, and also I've got to add something quite important to anybody out there that I've ever been in touch with on WhatsApp. I deleted my WhatsApp today before I realised I had to empty my trash bin. So if anyone out there who's got me on WhatsApp thinks I've blocked them or deleted them, I haven't. I deleted myself like an idiot. So I've got all the contacts in there, but nothing else. That is so me. So yes, would love to hear everything you've got to say in the comments. This has been a particularly long one because it was a whole day with the Dolphin Safari, and I hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to chatting.